Good afternoon. My educational thinker presentation is centered around Albert Bandura. Mr. Bandura has made great contribution to the field of education, and not only to the field of education, excuse me, but also to the field of psychology. And for students and teachers, we do know how important, or we know how closely related the educational and psychology field are in terms of ideals and philosophy. So, Mr. Bandura has had an important impact on the field of education, but more importantly, Mr. Albert Bandura created the social learning theory. And the social learning theory, it was also changed to the social cognitive theory, just to give you a little background about that. But this theory not only um, pertains to the educational field, but beyond the educational realm, much of the world is centered around Albert Bandura's social cognitive theory. What we observe and model dictates the thoughts and actions of people. And in today's society, I just personally feel like this is true more than ever because of the media and the role that the media plays in not only what our young people see, but we know through the commercials and through ads, a lot of things that our younger generation desires comes from what they have seen and the thoughts and actions of other people that they might observe. And this is not only true within the television or um, the media market, but in the educational field because, again, students, as well as teachers, our students are direct reflections of us as teachers. That's just my personal belief. And so, what we model for our students, hopefully, is reflective of Christ, which means that our principles are aligned and God centered. But again, those actions and models of the teacher are very reflective into the students. And so, within the field of education, um, his social cognitive theory, Bandura's social cognitive theory, stems from the desire to learn how people influence behavior, thoughts, and learning of other people. Okay, I want you guys to really think about that. But beyond that, teachers and students um, can also apply motivation and learning to the social cognitive theory. And of course, we know that when students are motivated, of course, this gives them confidence and self-efficacy. And this is that term self-efficacy is a term that was coined by Albert Bandura. And self-efficacy is a person's belief in their ability to perform a desired task and do well by their own actions. And so, just from a personal standpoint as a coach, we always tell our players that confidence is everything. And so this is true within the classroom as well. If students really believe in themselves, they really believe in their abilities, which has been motivated extrinsically by the teacher, not only by what they've put into the student, by what they've modeled as far as what's good and what's not good. But this whole idea was coined by Albert Bandura. And that's an educational idea, one of many by Albert Bandura. Another educational idea that was coined by Albert Bandura was observational learning. And this is what I alluded to a little bit earlier within the desire to learn how people influence behavior, thoughts, and learning of others. But observational learning, he coined this as vicarious learning. And so by focusing on a model, his idea was that modeling activities that observers believe are important, and that's the key, are likely to lead to rewarding outcomes that command greater attention. So, in other words, for students that model good behavior, they should be rewarded. And in return, the other students will see how important that behavior is, and they will also try to model that behavior. Um, and the last idea that I would like to focus on that Mr. Bandura coined was called the triadic reciprocal causation theory. And this is a personality and behavior model that he used to describe the relationship between three factors and the effect those three factors have on an individual's behavior. And those three factors are the environment and the behavior itself and the individual. And so we know that when students are placed in a positive environment, environment that's reflective of good values, reflective of great teaching and modeling, students in return have a greater sense of self-efficacy, and they are motivated to learn. And in return, the individual himself or herself increases the likelihood that their behavior changes as well. And so, as a teacher, as an aspiring teacher like myself, this is very important to me. And so, number one, as a Christian, I just feel like personally that our values should be reflective of Christ, and also that our values should align with the environment that we want our students to model. And by doing this, not only are we setting our students up for success in the classroom, but when they leave us and go to the next grade, and when they become citizens in the community and in the world, a lot of what a lot of what they have modeled from teachers and role models will in return make the world a better place. Thank you so much.